Fantasy football fan, what's going on? This is Fantasy Football AF, and I'm your host, Mitchell Renz. I want to give a shout out to our sponsor today, Tavor, for hooking me up with this awesome double Indian Pale Ale craft beer. And if you guys want awesome craft beer, go to Tavor.com, sign up for free, and you're going to use promo code ChatSports for $10 off your very first purchase. Next guy I got coming up, guys, I'm going to get into my waiver wire section. For any girl, I would imagine, who would be interested in this guy, they probably would need a shit ton of beer from Tavor, because this dude, he's just, wow, that's a lot of orange on the screen there, Lana. Waiver wire week 4. The guy who I want you to pick up is Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's 31% owned, and he's going up against the Falcons this week, and the Falcons are going to be without both their starting safeties, and this defense is just really, really banged up. Dalton on the year, 860 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. If you watched, I don't know, the NFL last week, week 3, you watched that Saints and Falcons game, you know how many points were put up in that game. Now, I don't know if we're going to get to that level because here's some breaking news. Andy Dalton is not Drew Brees. But the Falcons are going to start giving up a lot of points on defense because they're banged up. I'm telling you guys, they're a banged up defense. So if Andy Dalton's still on your waiver wire, and let's say you lost a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo, pick up Andy Dalton, stream him this week. He's going to be a reliable option. Heck, maybe even a FanDuel flyer. All right, if you miss on Andy Dalton, here's some 3 other options you guys can rely on the waiver wire for week 4. I'm going with Baker. Baker's out there in a lot of leagues. He's in there over 20% of leagues still. Blake Bortles, he's not a pretty guy. Somebody told me I look like Blake Bortles, but I think it's bullshit. But regardless, I know I don't play football like him. Maybe Cam does. Ryan Tannehill's another guy I think you could rely on this week for waiver wire week 4. Tannehill just threw for 289 yards and 3 touchdowns. So I got a question. We talk a lot about fantasy football, and sometimes you guys want to talk real football. I get it. So who is the better quarterback in real life? Is it B, Blake Bortles, or type F for Joe Flacco? So if you guys think Blake Bortles is better than Flacco, type B. If you think Flacco is better than Bortles, type F. Who is the better quarterback? Cam, I'm looking at you. I want to give a shout out to Tavor. These guys are by far my favorite place to get beer. And if you guys want to get beer, rare craft beer from Tavor, I need you to go to Tavor.com, Tavour.com. You're going to use that promo code ChatSports. You see it right there on the screen. You're going to get $10 off your very first purchase. And guys, signing up costs $0.00. It's free. Sign up at Tavor for free. Get craft beers from all around the world. All right, the next waiver wire option I got for you guys is a running back, and it's Javorius Buck Allen, because this guy is just getting all the work at the goal line for the Ravens. 3 touchdowns on the ground, 1 receiving touchdown, and with Kenneth Dixon out, I just think the Ravens are going to rely on a 2-headed monster with Collins and Allen, and I think Allen has actually looked a lot better. And if he continues to get the goal line work, hey, if you're missing a guy like Joe Mixon, if you're missing certain guys who are out with injuries, Allen might be a guy that you could rely on. Now, he is in a tough matchup against the Steelers, but I think the Steelers have been in, we'll say, certain game scripts where the teams haven't had to run the ball on them because the Steelers have been chasing points. The Steelers have been in shootouts. If you miss on Buck Allen, here's some other waiver wire options I think you guys could look at. You could look at a guy like Theo Riddick, who was by far the best running back besides, all right, I shouldn't say by far the best. Let's give a shout out to Kerryon Johnson. Kerryon was great. First time the Lions had a 100-yard rusher since, 2013 Reggie Bush. But Theo, and they got that offense going with the passing game. And then Chris Ivory actually looked pretty good against the Vikings. And then Nyheim Hines is the guy who I still like in PPR leagues for the Colts. So there's some other running back waiver wire options for week 4. Okay, I got a master debater for you guys. And even though it's not Christmas, I want to know, are you naughty or nice? I saw some chick on Hinge the other day. This was literally her question. Are you naughty or nice? So laughing face for naughty, wow face for nice. If there's any girls who watch this and you put up a laughing face, hit me up at Mitchell Renz 365. The next waiver wire option I got for you guys here has been absolutely spectacular. It's Calvin Ridley. Now, my rule to this show normally is I don't like to put guys over 40% owned, but Calvin Ridley needs to be owned in more leagues than 42% of leagues. 11 catches, 210 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He is the new Falcons' number 2 wide receiver. Calvin Ridley didn't have a target or a catch in week 1 because for some reason they still thought Mohamed Sanu was better than Calvin Ridley. Well, guess what? The coaches, hey, shout out to Sarkisian doing something right, has been targeting Calvin Ridley in the red zone, and he's been really good. Ridley last week absolutely balled out with like 160 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns, just absolutely incredible game. Calvin Ridley's going to be the number 2 wide receiver opposite of Julio Jones with a defense that's going to give up a lot of points. Calvin Ridley was my number 1 rookie wide receiver, and I'm telling you because this is what I foresaw. Now, I don't think he's going to continue to put up the touchdowns that he is, but Calvin Ridley is going to be a reliable guy who you can play at your flex all season long. So if he's on your waiver wire, I'm telling you guys right now, pick up Calvin Ridley. If you miss on Calvin Ridley for week 4, these are some other options that you guys can consider. Mike Williams. Mike Williams is the guy, when he came out of Clemson, there's a reason why the Chargers took him in the top, they took him 7th overall. He's really talented. Chris Godwin has been a guy who just continues to shine. I've loved him since he came out of Penn State. He's a third-year wide receiver. And then shout out to Tyler Boyd. So much hype around John Ross. Tyler Boyd is like, nah. He's giving that a Vance McDonald stiff arm, saying, no, look at me. I'm the number 2 wide receiver there for the Bengals. He's looking hella good. If you guys think that I look hella good, this is, you know why? It's because I'm repping Mizzen and Main. And Mizzen and Main reps all the dudes here at Chat Sports with these awesome dress shirts. Guys, you guys can't tell that I sweat because they got sweat wicking technology. They're super flexible. They're stretchy. And guess what? The chicks dig them too. So go to www.comfortable.af and Mizzen and Main's going to hook you up with some awesome dress shirts. All right, the last waiver wire week 4 options I got for you guys is the tight end position. And even though Jesse James did not play so well on Monday Night Football, he's still a guy who I think you can consider as a top guy for week 4. Now, 9 catches, 205 yards, and a touchdown. But the thing that I love is he saw 5 targets in the first 2 games this season. If I'm getting a tight end who's getting around 5 targets a game from a really high potent offense, that's something that I really want to consider. Now, the thing that the Steelers, they're playing the Ravens. Ravens-Steeler games, they're normally like pretty tough-nosed games, so I don't want to get too carried away. But the Ravens have allowed 24 targets to the tight end position. That's 8 targets a game for you math lords out there. And if Jesse James and Vance McDonald are splitting reps, if I can get another 4 to 5 targets out of a guy like Jesse James, I think he could be a reliable guy that you could maybe potentially start this week or could be a flyer on FanDuel. If you miss on Jesse James, hey, why not a guy like Will Dissly? Because the Seahawks have nobody. Russell Wilson is thrown to a bunch of no-names out there. I like Ricky Seals-Jones, who finally caught a touchdown pass this past week. And Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert was a guy that I liked a lot when he was coming out of college. He's a rookie. And with Carson Wentz back, maybe the 2 tight ends, Ertz and Goedert, can both be reliable options that you guys can consider starting every single week. Fantasy Football fam, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to Fantasy Football AF. Please follow me on Twitter at MitchellRenz365, and please sign up at Tavor.com. Sign up is 100% free, and if you guys want to get awesome craft beer like the Double Indian Pale Ale I got in my hand, go to Tavor.com. Sign up is for free.